That's on?
That's on.
My apologies to everyone. I pushed the wrong button. This is the Public Safety Building Committee meeting. We're in the middle of recording it. A quick overview. This is June 13th, 2019. The Public Safety Building Committee has had a discussion about the land donation on College Highway for the use of a public safety complex. We are now going to get into further discussion relative to survey work that would be necessary. We got an estimate of $3,600 for that. That's going to be tabled until such time as we see if the donation is going to move forward. We're going to meet with the Board of Selectmen at their next meeting to get an update from the Board of Selectmen as to where the land negotiations are going forward. And now, the next thing on the agenda is a discussion of a bill that was filed by Senator Humison to put $1 million aside for the town of Southampton for design and construction of the public safety complex. That was done about a year ago, and we've been silent with it because of the fact that we were still in the process of trying to secure the land. But I believe this land is going to start moving forward in the next 6 months or so. So it may be timely to reach out to the senator or one of the reps and find out if that bill actually passed and if that money is actually available if the governor authorizes it. Who would like to do that?
I'm going to say you should probably be the ones that you have the connections and you're the chair of this committee. I know you have a lot of free time. Kidding on that part.
Would you like to do that, Charlie?
Would I like to?
Watch how you phrase it, because
Well, no, I'm going.
Will you do it, Charlie?
We got to vote on it. I don't want Charlie doing something he don't want to do.
Well, it's not a question of not wanting to do it, it's just trying to spread the wealth. You know, I've been accused of managing too much at one time, so I'm trying to let other people manage things. And, you know, and basically it comes back to, yes, I have the connections. I know where to go to get X, Y, and Z done. Or we have another ace in the hole. We have a town administrator who also has the connections and understands the verbiage. And he is actually paid by the town to take and field phone calls on that. Maybe it would be good to have this committee ask if he'd be willing to take and follow up on that and at least try to give us a status report.
He'd be better than me.
Usually you vote him when they're not here, but since he's in the audience.
Yeah, I can feel it behind you.
And what do you think?
This board can't direct me to do anything. However, the board that he sits on can.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I'd be happy to do that.
But just in the sense of the topic, do you think that's a good fit? That you can.
Yeah.
And do you mind working with him on this?
Working with Ed?
Yeah. Well,
I think I could handle that.
Yeah.
But can Ed handle me? That's
Well, I was
the
going
real
to
thing.
say, now they're putting the albatross around my neck.
Okay, so I'll put on the agenda that we'll ask Ed to check on this grant.
Please, please. I suspect what's happened is it's a bond.
It's been tacked on to one of the bond authorizations.
Right. And it's
I forget
sitting-
which one.
I might be able to look it up for you.
I remember one of the two was on the environmental bond bill,
Yeah.
and then the other one was on, I think, the economic development bond bill between the public safety complex and
If I have it.
the Greenway.
Yeah.
I'll just have to go back and look.
We shared databases in the past.
Okay.
So we both, if we have it, we both have it.
So specifically, what is the bond for?
The bond specific, well, it's couched in another bond bill, okay?
Right.
As Ed just said, but there's a paragraph in there specifically for the town of Southampton, and I think it was Montgomery too, to give the town of Southampton $1 million for design and construction of a public safety complex. The idea of that was if we get the land donation,
Right.
and then we get this grant, we have working money to take and hire an architect and engineer to do our preliminary plans to get things ready to go. So when we go to town meeting, it's actually construction money we'd be looking for.
Right, okay, so we'll put it on the agenda, I'll talk to Ed.
How much
For both.
would we want to change the design of the building from what was done for over here?
Oh, it definitely will change.
3.5
There
million
is.
worth?
There's
No, is it a totally different building?
totally different buildings.
Okay.
It's gonna have to be. to get
And
the
there
price
isn't,
down.
and there's pie in the sky sketches, but there's no real sketch, okay?
From what was done for this building?
Oh, no, for this building, we were moving forward with preliminary concepts.
Yeah.
Remember they're
They're
trying
there,
to
there's-
replicate the facade of the old one with the brick and all that,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of money you gotta put
A
into
lot of
it.
costs.
Yeah.
A lot of excavation.
Yeah, there were those issues because of all the
wetlands.
shale.
You had to start all over,
Yeah.
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 basically.
This here is a open lot, gravel 30 feet deep, you know.
I just didn't know if the basic foundation configuration of the building might be the same, or
No.
did you like the way the rooms were arranged?
No,
The
that's all.
configuration of the original proposal, the 2016
Taylor made it.
proposal,
Taylor made it.
was the way it was because of the topography.
Yeah.
And
So everything changes.
Right, now you've got flat land.
Plus we have a new police chief who may have a different concept of where he wants to go with this.
Right.
I was actually,
You may wanna-
I was on that,
Were you?
that particular building committee, I was, so I was involved in that,
Okay.
that floor plan.
I mean, even a simple thing like an elevator, we were trying to avoid an elevator there because we couldn't put a pit in the ground because it would flood.
Yeah, no, you need an
You could do
elevator.
something over there because you don't have groundwater to deal with.
Well, I think you'd want an elevator, right?
Well, unless you have
Not
one
in-
story,
Yeah.
If we're one story, we're good. In the location over there, we wouldn't need
because an
to.
elevator is expensive.
Yes.
I'm just
That's
using
cost.
that
Right.
as to why the building changes, so.
So if we do that, just while we're talking that, who do we get to do this design work? Because I know that,
We would take and we would put an RFP together, and we would go after the most qualified individuals within our price range. That would be the same process that we did before, where we have to score them, interview them, and everything. It's a long process.
okay,
First priority, secure the land. Second priority, get the grant money to take and start doing the architectural design. Third step, if we get 1 and 2 done, is to put together a solid committee here to take and get an RFP out there so that we can find out who we're gonna hire.
so question, I guess it's going to go to you, Ed. The state DCAM has designer selection contracts. Do you know if we could utilize one of those without going through the bid process? We do that a lot where I am, because they're publicly bid and they're already out there ready to go.
I haven't seen any on the municipal, available for municipal side, but I'll take a look.
Because DCAM, Department of Capital Asset Management, which is part of the state, has designers on contract that they bid out, and you're able to use them without going through the whole process. And we do that a lot, saves a lot of time and money. So that's an avenue we can look,
Sure, it's a good idea.
yeah. And you can still vet the X amount on there, the same way.
Is there anything that committee members would like to bring forward?
Did, Harrison is still our senator, right?
He is
Yeah.
until November, I think.
So it probably would be until January 1st, I would think,
Yeah, because the election's in November, so yeah,
at least until that point.
yeah.
And he's not running for reelection.
He's running for mayor in
Yeah.
Westfield.
Yeah, his reelection would have been next year.
Mhm.
Would Savadosa be a good one to go to also?
Well, for that matter, you could go to Pat Carnavelli from the governor's office and flat out ask if he can find out what the status of it is, but let
And,
Ed,
Pursue that.
anything else? Okay, I'm going to do open time to the public. Barbara? Tammy? Going once? Going twice?
Sorry.
Didn't you learn never to encourage?
I'm having a little fun here. Okay, if nothing else,
Well, let's just think of it before, is there anything else on this project that we could think of, we could get a step forward on? I don't want to recess, because we don't meet that often. I just want to make sure we're,
Well, we'll meet more once things start to happen.
right.
It's, the land is the loggerhead. Once
Gotcha.
that land thing starts to move forward, then we're gonna be, helping try to get the selectmen to have a town meeting to take and accept the land. We're gonna be moving to try to get the grant moving forward. So we'll be meeting a lot more, we will become active, and then we will, in our group, start talking concepts of what we would like to see out there.
I know in the last committee, we did site visits, which was very beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean,
Other communities,
yeah.
other-
Went down
Yeah.
there at Ashburn,
Yeah.
it was really good.
Very nice facility.
Oh,
That's
it's
We
great.
have all
already
the
built,
stuff
you
in
mean?
the last.
Yes,
Oh, gotcha.
yes,
Okay.
newer public safety.
Actually, Don,
complex.
you went on a couple, didn't you? Take some trips?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I went, I just, on my own,
Yeah, what you did.
visited about 6 different,
Stations.
We spent a lot of time looking.
Yep.
We did.
And we can start that again, because there's newer stations that have gone up now.
Well, once we figure out land and,
Is there anything we can learn from Westhampton? They just got their public safety
We
facility.
need to learn how to get the town to vote in favor of it. That's what we need to learn.
Took them a couple times.
Yeah,
They did, but they're there.
I know.
is that
Well, I-
before?
Barbara?
It isn't a question of getting town support. It's a question of getting a price that the town believes that they can afford for the facility that you're planning.
Point taken.
So whatever you present has got to be good enough for the town to support, basically
Right.
what she's saying, yeah.
Yeah,
And $10.5 million just,
didn't happen. The other sad part about that is, it's been a number of years since that 10 million,
yeah.
so the cost is going up too.
20 million.
Yeah, my personal opinion is
Yeah,
that was
50.
kind of designed, he went out and said to the police, fire, and everybody, what would you like? You know, and if somebody says that to me, I'm giving you everything I want. And I think we designed it that way,
Yeah.
not thinking about the budget. And now we're going to kind of look at it from the other side.
If we
I think
looked
there was a
at
lot of luxuries involved in that
Yeah.
versus
I agree.
necessities.
Yeah.
What was the starting point?
Yeah.
if we looked at it, X amount of dollars, what can you give us for that X
Yeah.
amount of dollars? That's,
Yeah, I agree with that. The only problem with that is we got to make sure whatever they give us is something both departments can live with for 20 years or more, you know?
20 years?
Well, you know what I'm saying, yeah.
A lot longer than that.
How long has this one been here?
1866 for fire, yeah.
Before I was born?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to design to need and dollars, so you got to figure out a middle to ground to
Yeah.
that.
I think Barbara's point is just a reasonable cost for a projection out of the
Reasonable
future without
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, I can speak for fire and probably PD, that just anything is a whole lot better than what we've got, so.
And I think we should be open again, because we talked about that a little bit, two separate facilities, one together, all that stuff's gonna come up, Because it's less expensive in my mind to build you a facility than it is you. So maybe two separate structures will be a better, they can be 20 feet apart, I don't know, but you know what I mean?
Whatever's the cheapest, because I don't mind being with him.
No, but I'm saying,
Right now, right?
I guess that's.
Why do I gotta sit in the middle of
this?
But there was a time.
yes, there was a time, but I still remember the blue and red chairs.
But we digress.
A lot of that expense was about the topography, like you had said.
Yeah.
Like about the facade.
Yeah,
and the
and
fact
trying to
that
fit
there was
it
an
around the
elevator had to
building
be
that was
involved. There was a
there.
lot of expenses
Yeah.
based on its location.
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
there was over $1 million worth of site work.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
the wetlands to the right of the building,
Yeah,
facing
hopefully,
it.
if this land goes through, it'll get through some of those obstacles, and it'll be a reasonable cost that the town will be behind.
Well, if we get $1 million grant for design and
That helps
construction,
right there.
there's $1 million
That's
taken
$1
off the
million.
top.
That's a big
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
but it's still gonna be a big pill.
Oh, I understand
So,
that, but it's still $1 million more than we had the last time.
You
Absolutely.
can't let it go.
No.
And a prime site,
Very, yep.
prime site.
So a lot of positives, and forward momentum would be great.
Well, right now, it's
Yeah.
between the property owner and the Board of Selectmen as to where this is going. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we adjourned at 4:38, 4:38, and
Do you want to make a date for another meeting for this one?
I'm not going to at this point because of the fact that
If you're adjourned, you may want to turn that off.
turn it on or
Get
whatever.
the right colors.
Hit the right colors, man. Red was always stopping my world. But evidently in Southampton, reds go.